Hey, you beautiful twin flames, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. This is an audio twin flame concept video, and you'll be able to find this later on if you want to rewatch it in the twin flame concepts playlist. Okay, so if you just navigate through the channel and click on playlists, you'll be able to find this video there. I want to talk about a few different topics for twin flames today. I've had some emails and I've had some discussions and I've had some, I guess you could say I've had a lot of epiphanies along the journey as well. But some of these topics are really going to be important for you on your journey. So the first thing I want to talk about is one of the really hot topics at the moment, and that's marriage. More specifically, I want to talk about twin flames who are already married, or whose counterpart is already married, or perhaps just in a connection. That's what will we say? A situationship, a relationship, a little bit more than dating. Okay, because many twin flames have got a counterpart that is already in a connection, or you were with your person and then they went into a connection, or vice versa. And so there is a lot of questions regarding this topic, and I want to talk more succinctly about the guilt that many twin flames feel for the connection outside of either their own relationship or marriage or situationship, and also the realization that if their counterpart is in a relationship with someone else, that they are kind of being the mistress or the mister, as we might say, and how this affects you on your twin flame journey. So as I get into these different topics, this is the first one that I want to talk about. I'm going to cover 4 different topics today. This particular topic is a difficult one because it really depends on your perspective. And if you have come to a high enough consciousness, as in if you have awakened enough or ascended enough to see the beauty of love outside of the normal third dimensional 3D mindset box, right, you'll be able to understand that the twin flame connection trumps all others, because it is your spiritual rites of passage. And that doesn't mean that it's not okay to be thoughtless about the people who are your karmics in the situation. So I guess you could take it from 2 different perspectives. Let's talk about the 3D consciousness, or the third dimensional consciousness or mindset perspective, where when you marry or when you're with someone, you want to be loyal, you want to be true, you want to be fundamentally caring, you want to be humble, you want to give your all to someone. And this is a really beautiful thing to do. And most people who did this did it before their awakening, as in they got into a marriage or a situationship or a relationship before they awoken. I love that word, awoken. It sounds funny. And so what happens is that they use their mind and body to connect to this other soul to this soulmate or this karmic, however you'd like to put it. And then as they've grown, they've realized that, oh, perhaps we're not as connected as I thought. Because as you grow in consciousness, you'll come to understand that when you're with your twin flame in comparison to a soulmate, you will feel a really different feeling. You know, you feel it in all of your chakras, you feel it energetically, you feel it, you know, sexually, but it's not, I don't know, I guess you could say it's not a sexual experience like a lust. It's not the same as having a lustful experience for someone. It's a sexual experience that really does connect you to God or source energy. And that's pretty much what happens with twin flames, is that they come into this congruence of understanding what God feels like or what source energy feels like, because as they come together, because they were made for one another, they experience the bliss. So this bliss is mind-blowing. This bliss is amazing. This bliss is tremendous. It's wonderful. It's all of those things that you would, you know, picture in a fantasy or romantic movie. And it actually probably is better than that. You know, you've seen some romance movies, perhaps, you know, maybe you've seen Titanic, or maybe you've seen, I don't know, When Harry Met Sally, or Ghost, or Dirty Dancing, or even La La Land, which is a newer one. And there's another one too that's on Netflix just now called Crazy About Her. If you want to watch that one, that's a great twin flame movie. So as you've awakened, or awoken, I love that word, you've attracted in your twin to you, and when you met, you would have felt it probably in your heart space and in your groin as well, throughout your whole body. It's like a tingling sensation that, you know, kind of makes you feel crazy. And it's not like a lustful situation. It's not like a soulmate connection at all. And it really does blow your mind and your chakras out of the water, you know. And so many twin flames write to me and say, you know, I'm in a marriage, I'm in a connection, I don't know what to do. Or my counterpart's in a marriage or a connection, I don't know what to do. So if you're still in third dimensional mindset consciousness, some twin flames are, and some twin flames are teetering, you know, going from 3 to 5D and above. And the perspective will change as you go higher. As you go higher, you'll understand that your twin flame is a catalyst for your own growth, and that, you know, love really does trump all things. Now, in the bigger scheme of things, in the spiritual understanding of things, love is love, and anything that's not love is fear. And so if you are feeling guilty for loving someone else that's in a connection, or that you love someone else even though you're in a connection, then that's kind of a fear-based mindset. So we were never designed to just love one person, generally speaking. You know, many people have animals, and many people have children, and many people have friends, and many people have family. And you're allowed to love all of them. In fact, that's what we're here to do. We're here to be love and show our love to others, so that we can awaken the entire planet. And many of you will have started a mission of some kind, helping charity, or maybe you've got your own channel, or maybe you've got some social media platform, or some kind of wonderful thing that you're helping the planet with. I don't know, some people, just their mission is to volunteer and help make the planet, a better place in some kind of way. So the issue here isn't whether or not you should be allowed to love someone else. The issue really comes down to, because the twin flame is such a sexual awakening as well for many, that's where the guilt kind of comes in, because you've never felt like this before. And so what happens then is the 3D mindset kicks in, and you go, well, that's not okay. It's not okay to feel those things about another. So I want you to have a little think about whether you're in a 3D mindset about this topic, or whether you're in a 5th or 5th dimensional consciousness and above mindset about this topic, where you can see it for what it truly is, and that love is love, pure and simple, plain and simple. And in the spiritual realm, it kind of trumps everything else. So I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't do anything. I'm not going to give my opinion on whether you should continue or not continue, but I do want to say that it's all about perception. And if you perceive something to be bad, then that's what you'll make it. And if you perceive something to be beautiful, then that's what you'll make it. And many of you, came into your twin flame journeys completely by accident. You didn't know it was going to happen. It sort of came at you, and before that you were perhaps not awoken yet. And so the choices you made before your awakening would be different now to the choices that you would want to make as you ascend higher and higher. So that's my take on the first topic. The next topic I want to talk about today is separation, and how important the separation is between twin flames, because in this separation you are really greeted with yourself first and foremost. And in the greeting of yourself, you get to break down those walls and those barriers that you've built up against love. And you also get to see yourself for who you are. Maybe in the past you may have been judgmental. Maybe in the past you may have been full of ego. Maybe in the past you may have had some kind of addiction. Or maybe you still do. And it's in the separation that you will realize all of these things that you need to shed. I guess you could say, traditionally and spiritually, you have, the snake shedding its skin, getting rid of what no longer serves it, coming back to your essence, to who you really are, and realizing that you're not, you are a mind and a body, but your real truth is your spirituality. And so even though it feels uncomfortable to be in separation from your twin, the most important thing is to understand that, over time, you'll understand that that was part of the journey. Over time, you'll understand that it's in those times where you spend time with yourself that you have the most amount of epiphanies, that you have, many dark nights of the soul, that you have, that you, maybe, drop down on all fours and really have a cry and really let it all out, and understand that you really are longing for love, and the love that you're longing for actually resides within you. And in a third dimensional consciousness or mindset, you will have looked for things outside of yourself to make you feel loved. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe you went on Amazon or eBay and bought that, you know, that fancy, I don't know, quilt set that you always wanted, and you thought it would make you feel better, or those shoes, or those clothes, or that car, or that house, or that whatever it is. You know, maybe you used money to try and satisfy yourself, or maybe in the past you've used some kind of drug or addiction to satisfy yourself. In fact, many use you know, an addiction to pornography, or an addiction to some kind of food, you know, as in eating a lot of, you know, junk food, or you know, using things outside of yourself to make you feel happy. And this is where the separation can really be tough, because usually in the separation and during the separation times are the times when you feel that you're struggling the most. You know, if only, you know, a lot of twins say, if only my twin flame would contact me now, everything would be okay, I'd be fine. And of course, this is a codependency here that also needs to be addressed. And for many of you who are still in the longing to be with your twin flame kind of phase, you know, you're gonna say, shut up, Nat, you don't understand, you know, how much I'm longing for them, you know, because when you're in that phase or in that stage, and it can come and go, it can really be uncomfortable. But again, you know, looking for your twin flame to fix your life or to fix you in some kind of way is a codependency which needs to be shed before union or full union can take place. So some of you will go into separation and then come, you know, and then talk to your twin, and then separation and talk to your twin, and separation and talk to your twin. And this cycle for some people can go on for, wow, years and years. There's my throat chakra going crazy. And I can feel a lot of you getting mad at me right now, saying, yeah, it's been going on for a really long time. And it's, you know, it's quite it's more than frustrating. It's a real shame is what it is. So this happens for your growth personally, because the twin flame journey is, of course, about a journey to yourself. And once you kind of get the memo on that and realize that, you know, there's nothing that's going to save you other than you and your connection with spirit or source energy or God, Allah, Buddha, whoever you believe in, and that you need to break down your own walls and come to know and love yourself. So that addiction you have, that frustration you have, that anger you have, that feeling of being off balance, that craving you have, that longing you have, that codependency that you have, all of that needs to be shed so that you can move to a higher perspective and understand that when your twin flame doesn't come in, it's for your own growth. All right. Now I do have a fast track twin flame system that can help you get into union with your twin flame if that's what you wish. You can contact me at my Gmail, which will be in the description box below, if you are interested in how to do that. So the next topic I want to talk about now is, I've talked about separation, I've talked about if you're in a connection and marriage and how that's all about perspective. I want to talk about finding yourself as my next topic. And I want to talk about this in a spiritual way, because finding yourself isn't about understanding, your mental and physical needs as much as it is understanding who you are as a soul. If we took the body away and the mind away and we were left with the higher intellect and the soul, I guess some movies would depict it, as being light or as being free or as having no pain or having no worries, okay? And so when you truly find yourself, you find yourself by what you connect with. So do you love to dance? Do you love to sing? Do you love to paint? Do you love to help children? Do you love to, play the violin? Do you love to go bushwalking? Do you love to make things in some kind of artistic way? What do you love to do? Finding your passion and finding your joy is a really great way of connecting with yourself. And of course, just because we turned 18, in Australia, when you turn 18, you're officially an adult. Maybe in other countries it's different, but in Australia, as soon as you turn 18, you're deemed to be an adult, which is really kind of weird, because if you think of like just a few years before that, maybe if you go back 5 years before that, you were only 13, right? And really you're still a child. So many of us, as we come into adulthood, we forget about connecting with our inner child. And my channel is all about doing that. This is why I have the gang. This is why we have Donkey and Little Red Riding Hood and Harry and Charlotte and some of the others, including Chef, who's looking at me right now with his open mouth. Makes me laugh every time. So how can we connect with our inner child? Is it okay to be a child sometimes? Is it okay to be free? Is it okay to hide under the covers when it's raining? Is it okay to put on that pink onesie, or if you're a guy, that those pajamas that you really love? Is it okay to, play with trains? Is it okay to play with dolls? Is it okay to, fly a kite? Is it okay to talk to your pets? Absolutely, yes. Maybe don't do it on social media like I do, because people might think you're batshit crazy. But in your time of solitude, in your time of privacy, in your own home, you are really, really helped by connecting with your inner child. And when you do this, you allow yourself freedom. Okay? It might be something like, when you were a little girl or a little boy, you loved cooking and baking with your mum or your dad, or with your auntie or with your grandma. That might be a way of connecting into and finding out who you really are. A little taste of home, or a little taste of something you love. Maybe you used to go to holidays at a certain location, so maybe once a year you want to go and do that, or you love, colouring in, And I'm telling you that when you find your inner joy, when you find the inner child in you and allow yourself to express that, then this enables you to be in connection with your own soul. And when you find yourself in this way, you also are connecting with your twin flame. And it breaks down the walls and the barriers to all of that adultness that we so get bombarded with as soon as we turn 18, or for some people I think it's 21, right? So it's so important to have fun. You know, having fun just might mean putting on a funny movie. Having fun might just mean calling up a friend and you know, telling each other some jokes. Having fun might mean, you know, doing something that you haven't done for a really long time, and remembering that you are also and have an inner child within of yourself. So that's the third topic I wanted to talk about, was finding yourself and how important the inner child is. The last topic I want to bring up is the topic of sadness. And sadness on the twin flame journey can feel like grieving, can feel like abandonment, can feel like fear, can feel like melancholy. And I want to tell you that this is completely normal to feel these things. Of course, you know, if you think that it's going on for too long, you know, go and get some counseling or something like that. You know, if you think it's not related to spirituality, or that, you know, you're feeling really depressed or even suicidal, always seek help. You know, I also want to say that during this time of sadness or grieving or abandonment, that many divine feminines go through and divine masculines go through, it's kind of part of that shedding of the old skin and into the new. Okay, I was talking about the snake being a spiritual aspect of, you know, of transformation here. You could also liken it to the phoenix. Sometimes it's good to cry. Sometimes it's good to remember past loved ones and have a cry. Sometimes it's good to just sit on the couch in your pajamas and, you know, watch a silly movie and not go to work that day. You know, sometimes it's good to just allow yourself to be. Okay. So usually when we get into a state of sadness and grieving, or abandonment, or what some would call the dark night of the soul, what happens here is that we feel very alone, and we feel like it's not going to end. And many times this happens when we're in separation with our twin flame, which can cause it to feel a million times worse, you know, especially if your twin flame isn't talking to you, or if they've blocked you, or if they're in another location and can't speak to you, then you can feel very alone. So the best thing to do when this happens is to let the emotion flow through you. I always say, be like a jellyfish and let the emotion flow through you. Don't hold on to the energy, and just know that it's going to pass. So if you think about the darkness of the night, you know that eventually after the darkness of the night, the morning is going to come and the sun will rise. You could also liken it to a tunnel. You know, you're traveling through a tunnel, and you can see that little dot of light at the end, and you know that you're going to feel better eventually. So this is the time when you're feeling this abandonment or sadness or grieving, that you stop the mind from doing its chatter. So this is not the time to, you know, beat yourself up about that you didn't get something done, or beat yourself up about that, you know, you failed at something. This is not the time to, you know, self-criticize, This is not the time to be in your mind at all. In fact, the more that you can quiet the mind, the more peaceful you will become, and more quickly as well. A really great technique for this, which I always talk about, is deep belly breathing, where you can imagine the air coming from in between your legs. You take a deep breath and you breathe out through the heart chakra. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. A quick count of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes in, out, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes out. And you can do this for 5 minutes twice a day. And from a scientific perspective, it will calm the vagus nerve, and which helps with both depression and anxiety. It actually tells the body that it's not needing to be in a fear response of fight or flight, which is often the case for many twin flames, because they are empaths, because they take on energy for the collective and from many other sources. Alrighty, so ultimately you are a ball of energy, a ball of light, a ball of love, and we need to keep you clear and clean. And I guess the last thing I want to say is that, if you imagine, or if you've ever read any books about feng shui, and allowing the chi to flow through either your home or your business or your garden, you'll understand that you need to remove the blockages so that the chi can pass through. And as you remove any blockages, which may be in the chakras, or maybe in your thought patterns, or maybe in any negative emotions or judgments you have about yourself or others, you will be able to live a peaceful life each and every day. So there's multiple techniques for being able to move the chi through you, and deep belly breathing is one of them. You can also use yoga and meditation and prayer. I always say dancing is a great way to move any stuck energy on a physical level, and singing can really be great for the throat chakra as well. So if you are needing my services in any way, please contact me. My Gmail is in the description box below, and all of my services are mentioned there with prices as well. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me each and every time. I look forward to reading your comments as always. And I'm going to do a Divine Masculine check-in really soon. So stay tuned for that. But the last thing I do want to say before I say goodbye is that all my videos are timeless. So if you see a thumbnail picture that catches your eye, or if you see a title that catches your eye, you can go back to any of my videos and there will be magically some kind of relevance for you in whatever video you tap on. So, feel free to do that anytime you want to, especially if I'm not posting every day. Sometimes I post every second day, sometimes I post every day, depending on, how many bookings I have, and also my own stuff that I have to do at home and around the place. So I love you all so very much. The gang and I say thank you for being here. Just remember, this video will be in the Twin Flame Concept playlist. You can go there anytime. I have lots of playlists there for you to go into and check out. And I hope you have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. And know that I am here. If you need me, you can email me if you need to. And big kisses and hugs from Australia. Bye, everyone. Bye.